Hi. Well, we get around. I'm out in Ashridge in a very special spot. They're a muntjac here, and I'm hoping we manage to get some privacy just to quickly make this video. The reason I've come here is because for me it has Christmas connections, and there's two pretty heavy planets up there in Capricorn at the moment, which is the sign, the winter solstice sign for us in the Northern Hemisphere, and it felt right to come here today, partly to connect to those two big planets and just to honour the forest in all its glory, knowing that it will be there again in 6 months from now, which is sort of sad. And I wanted to make our reading today stretch, not just from the winter solstice, but from last year's summer solstice to now. So I asked my guides for a card that would symbolise for us all our higher selves perspective on that past year. Okay, and so I'm using pagan cats. I'm on a house sit, I have pagan cats with me. A little mini deck, and I know people find it laughable, but actually it's a really good deck. So here's the card representing our past. Okay, this would be the Page of Wands in a normal tarot deck. And you can see that we're planting, making stable. There's two pyramids there. We're making very stable some new idea, a new project, a new enterprise. And in fact, that had got some power to it. Whatever it is we've planted in that past year, it's got some power to it because there's two pyramids there. So that's possibly even a partnership rather than a business project. It can be a business partnership, but there's two pyramids there. So there's two very stable, very spiritual forces. So we've planted ourselves a project, and you can see the steam is almost coming out of Pussycat's head with the ideas that this generated, the enthusiasm, the ideas. What was sent out to the universe was a message of beginning, starting something new. It's a really lovely thing for us all to have started something new in the past year. And it's why I wanted to dig that deeply into our past, is because I know that there's a lot of stuff from the past coming up at the moment that isn't so very positive. So here's our higher self's perspective. We've been planting something new, even if it's not felt so very good sometimes. Okay. There's a positive energy at the beginning of it, and the teaching is that as it begins, so it is. Okay, so there it is. For the next card, I asked, I asked for our collective higher selves, for our collective highest good view of our present, our current circumstances for this week. Okay, and I, unsurprisingly, as the sun's in Cancer, here is the High Priestess, often known as Isis, Mother of Heaven, the goddess. And this card represents more than any other card in tarot, although the Chariot and the Star card also bring these energies in. This represents the Milky Way. And in that center point of the Milky Way, where creation happens, all in secret, where Isis rules, this is where this beautiful feline sits, symbol of our soul. Between the two realities, the seen and the unseen. That's where birth happens. Yeah, it comes from the unseen world, comes into the seen world. And so this is our project, our idea, coming into being within divine timing, which we were covering last week. This is very much similar energies, similar energies. So things aren't slow. Go with the flow. It's divine timing. So you can see if you wrote a spell, set a contract, wrote a letter, whatever, made a plan within the last year. Here's this little wise pussycat. She's got it there, chapter and verse. And it's all going to happen in its right moment, okay? So that all sounded absolutely fine. The fly in the ointment time, okay? There is one. Yep. As if you didn't know. You're all having a hard time, I know. So when I shuffle, I wait for a card to sort of pop up and offer itself. And this one popped up and offered itself. But behind it, it had another card. And this is the Lord of Defeat. Just so you know what it's been like. Now, this Pagan Cats is, as I say, an excellent deck, and it shows a solution to when you feel you're absolutely beaten and you feel that the negative forces that humiliate and put you down are winning. When you've lost that perspective of seeing the positive and just not being cool with things in general, this card actually shows a solution. This is not letting the hurt go any further by keeping balance. And you can see this little pussycat is attuned to higher forces. So although we felt like giving up on our project, and probably at this moment is the easiest time to give up on anything, to give up on a relationship or to give up on a project, it would be very, very easy right now. Okay? And it's really super important to stay cool, calm, and collected. Things can't hurt you if you don't retaliate and argue with them. Okay? So if you don't give in to them, they can't defeat you. Yeah? There might be things you're needing to give up, but it isn't total and utter defeat. Okay? Just stay cool about this. It's a little learning program that our spirits have made for us. For our good, you know? Do you know? But yes, I thought that was really interesting. It's tarot reflecting what's going on in the heavens, really. We're being tested. And what is being tested is our ability to remain in a positive frame of mind when the chips are down. Okay? And I think that's going to be quite interesting on the political front this week, especially, and the global front. So keep that positive mindset, be the calm kitty, tune in for higher forces, and that's operating behind and supporting things happening in their right moment, which is absolutely vital. So stay calm. There's a lot of calm there. You're giving birth. It's never easy. Then, as a tarot reader, and probably like a lot of you, I know that time is an illusion. So when I go past, present, future, I know it's all in the now, okay? And it's just a matter of dimensions, really. But in a dimension that we're in down here in the physical realm, we have a past and we have a present and we have a future. And as much as planting that new project, that new endeavour, within the past year, as much as that has a bearing on us now, so too does our future. The future equally calls out to us and shapes us. Certainly if we give in to fear and worry and negative thinking, that starts to shape our future. So, All these things are very malleable. That's why the tarot comes along with its wisdom to say, hey, this is how to get the higher vibe going here. Yeah, stay calm, stay balanced, don't get involved, attune to higher forces. The good in you, the good in the situation, good in others, whatever it is you need to tune to, the good in. Tune into it, and that will lift you. Because look at the potential of our future. And that's just really, really good. So our future, we've got the future card. But so this is playing out through the next year, but seen in mini form through this week. All that I'm saying here has a larger and a smaller cycle to it, okay? And so this card really tells us how to play the game of life, because the little kitty cat on this card definitely doesn't get tied up in circumstances. It's a kitten that stays above the wheel of life, dabbles with it, but doesn't get drawn into it. Yeah, and in that way, there is that calmness, like the Sphinx. It's an eternal calmness, and when you do that, that little star that's yours, that shines out there in the cosmos, that is your star, that always brings you what you wish for, and all those fairy things from childhood, the believe in magic stuff, that amazing star can get its energy through to you if you don't get tied up in the circumstances of what's going on at the moment. And then the future literally opens up as a whole new vista, and opportunities abound in all areas. The 4 elements are on this card, which suggests that for our ideas, for our inspiration, breathing as well, actually. I know a lot have colds at the moment. I do as well. For our dynamic and vital energy, for our emotions, and for our physical, financial lives, all of those things begin to get new opportunities opening up for them. And that thing about opportunity is that the more you look for it, the more you find it. So tune into those higher energies and look for the opportunities around you this week and throughout the next 12 months as well. Altogether, those cards add up to the overall guidance from our higher self, from our collective oversoul, to say that this is a healing time. Often healing isn't very pretty to look at. It's not bliss. It's a struggle. Sometimes it's a struggle until we decide to give up the struggle. But it's just a question of it being a healing time. And again, it's coming from the celestial realms. So I hope you enjoy your week. I hope your year is very successful. And I hope that's helped you. I'll see you again next week.